Shawnee engaged in business retention and recruitment activity so that we can increase jobs in the class.
This is actually pretty easy. We put in approximately $300,000 in 1995 to do economic development. Well, the last time that we had a CEO that was fired, 68% of that money. And we can look at them keeping the contract. Otherwise, I would bring economic development back to the city, put it under the city. That way, we don't have to worry about any deals done behind closed doors just because they can. Thank you. Does anybody else want to?
That's a big allegation about a lot of money being missing. And there's no specifics on
the other problem with minor economic development in the city is when things do have to be discussed publicly and businesses are considering time to time. They don't want that talk about publicly because they're considering coming here or, they don't want everybody knowing their business until there's actually something to talk about. Pick up a few more. In your view, what are the city's core services and how do you plan to influence the city's budget to prioritize the ongoing maintenance of the services-based growth? Ed, we will start with you. Yes. In your view, what are the city's core services and how do you plan to influence the city's budget to prioritize ongoing maintenance of the services-based growth? Okay. So, the core services that the city has public safety would be the police and fire. It'd be transportation, which is like our streets. It'd be other infrastructure like water lines, sewer lines. Those would be the top priorities. In Oklahoma, cities are funded almost exclusively by sales tax. That's pretty well it. That's where over 90% of the money we have to spend comes from. So the way that we can increase that is to increase sales tax. So you've got to bring businesses to town, you've got to get people to shop here in the community to support the businesses and to support the city being able to provide services to the community. The core of the citizens is strictly extremely important as the safety. As the safety In your view, what are the city's core services, and how do you plan to influence the city's budget to put this in order? The ongoing maintenance of the services based on what? Core services as other grants I've said before, water, sewer, streets, food equipment, police equipment, safety, that's a part three where we're at it. As far as implementing the budget, every small business pretty much behind us, and you have to bring in more than you send out. We have to have a balanced budget every year. The city does get money from sales tax, utility bills, so on and so forth. As far as balancing the budget, small business background, when you endorse the front of the check versus the back of the check, and you're responsible for your employees, not only them but their families, it gives you a different perspective on what money is worth. You're not spending someone else's money at that point. You're spending your own money. We have to have accountability on all of their finances to the city. That's it. Well, I would agree with everybody on the basic fundamental things that the city is responsible for. A couple things I'd like to do budget-wise is, number one, our fire departments, I believe they start at $14 an hour. That's pretty low. They should start out at $20. I would push for that to be high. That is a needed resource in this town that you don't want to pick up a phone and call, and they can't get there. Now, our cops need to be paid more, too, because I don't have anything against our cops or firefighters, but we attract what we pay. And it's hard to keep people here when we don't pay enough, because they'll go somewhere else. So that's some of it. Now, the economic development aspect, to be real simple, even if Shawnee Forward kept it, they could use the Open Meeting Act and have executive sessions on each one that really was by law required to be behind closed doors, and we could still have economic development. You could do the same thing with the city government, too, and how they do executive sessions. It's no different. Thank you. Next question. And we will start with Eric Stevens. Do you believe Shawnee police officers are properly trained concerning citizens' constitutional rights? Do you support a citizen police review board? I believe they're trained pretty well. I think it's extremely difficult job. You have just milliseconds to make a decision on some things. You go all once in life. Normally when you're called out there, it's not to say hello, it's not a happy situation. There's usually a reason for being called out there. Operating it to make sure they're fully staffed, give them all the equipment that they need to do their job. That's important enough as it is. But yeah, I think they're trained, full trained to do the job. Thank you. Well, what about next? Shot one more time, please. Do you believe Shawnee police officers are properly trained concerning citizens' constitutional rights? Do you support a citizen police review board? I do think that cops are trained right. I think sometimes egos can get involved, and we're all human. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not taking up for a mistake or chastising one. I'm just saying mistakes happen. What was the second part? Do you support a citizen police review board? I absolutely do, but I would ask them to do two things. If they're going to help keep accountability on the cops, I would also have them to help be a voice for the cops, so that if they're not able to come to the commission because they're not able to come up here, then that review committee can come tell us what the cops need, and also the accountability. We're not asking to walk and chew gum at the same time. Thank you. Thank you. And when it back cops are trained, or they wouldn't be passing plates. Their plates on the training certificate. So most cops they have to have a direct training. But to keep that training up, they need to be think we have a major infrastructure on top. And I think our concept and interest of confidence. I can see more than
Okay, next question. Probably one of you is going to have attended more. This isn't right there, but we will start with Rob Morris. How many commission meetings have you attended or watched on TV in the last 4 years?
I've watched every single one of them. I've only missed 3 in the last 4 years, and that was when the city of Shawnee sued me. In a court of law, a judge told me I couldn't come in this building. Which is funny, because with that, I'm still not allowed to actually talk to anybody an hour before and an hour after, even though it never had anything to do with those folks. It only had to do with the 4 commissioners, one of whom sitting in here tonight, that sued me for a bunch of stuff they couldn't prove, and it's all public record if you'd love to go read it. You're more than welcome to. Thank you.
Okay, Alex Stevens.
So I've watched city commission meetings quite a bit the last 4 years, but I've attended in person since I retired, and a little bit before that. So prior to 22 when I retired, like I told you earlier, I had at least 2 jobs working 7 days a week. I only got to go home at 5. And I said, well, you don't stop until the work is done. You did most of the paperwork after hours. So I didn't get a chance to go back and watch in person, but I did watch it on the YouTube. And since I have retired, I've been in a quite a bit, educating myself, getting the feel of everything that's going on, getting to know who the players are, who the people are, and I've really been studying a lot in the last 2.5 years.
And one back with some questions.
I've been watched, I've really watched that real, I'm watching it, as big. When they got on YouTube and on the internet, so I do keep up with some of the topics that are issues here in the city. So I do watch the city meetings.
And
This is surprising, but I've been to every meeting. The 6 years that I've served on the commission, I think I have missed 4. And that was that. But that's not a very surprising thing. 29 years ago, I worked for AT&T, and it was cleaned up. Not letting me get anything about it. But, I take this very, very serious. This is a 24/7 job in my mind. I just do not miss. I don't feel right in here.
thank you. Next question. How many of you have read Article 4 of the city charter that describes the powers, duties, and meetings of Board of Commissioners? We will start with that winner.
Article 4,
That's with the commissioners. How many of you have read Article 4 of the city charter that describes the powers, duties, and meetings of the Board of Commissioners?
Give me one more time, please.
All right. Please describe your education or experience you have that qualifies you to lead this community through the many challenges we are facing.
Well, there's a couple things. I'm not a small business owner. I didn't work for AT&T forever. I was actually an aviation mechanic for almost 20 years. I built airplanes, and no, none of my planes crashed, so I didn't work for Boeing. I worked for Keeper, defense companies, and things like that. However, I was in charge of $4 billion worth of aircraft. The tail end of that plane was mine. I helped design the program for it. And I didn't just get to willy-nilly jump with whatever I wanted. I had to plan it out, get the engineers involved, and find out what everything needed versus what money we had to be able to use to get it. And the last part of that question, if I was thinking,
You lead community through this.
anytime there's a challenge in this town, take a tornado. Simple, and something we deal with every year. The minute the tornado's over, my first thing is I check on friends. Check on family, check on people I care about. If I'm mad, that just gets bigger, because I don't necessarily get to go ask one single person. I have to ask, how's that side of town? And I will do that every time. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to Eric Stevens.
The next question of that is, I'm not a small business. I have to be accountable and responsible for that operations. I'm not going to run a business. You don't have to identify problems, fix problems. You have to find yourself with the correct people. They're responsible for those people. At the end of the day, you have to make sure everything's running smoothly. You don't get the credit card for it. You take on until the problems are fixed. Thank you.
Next question. City officials do not seem to value our town icons such as the Santa Fe Depot, the Barrington Cabin, the celebration of lifetime. Millions of dollars have been generated for restoration. How will you prevent a band-aid approach in these repairs, as some council members are only interested in a return on investment? I don't know where my brain is. Would you like to answer this, Arthur? Well, I need to find my card here to get it right. No, do not have it. No, you deserve the right to answer that question. If I can find it.
Well, I mean, I think I remember just I'm asking about, experiences that would qualify me to do this job. Well, obviously, I have been there for the last 4 years. I was Ward 1 City Commissioner 2 years prior to that. I think that the 29 years that I had with AT&T was very valuable experience because, I had statewide responsibility for the very largest customers that AT&T had. And, that's something you just could not screw with. And I didn't. And then after I retired, I was a small business owner down in Shawnee. But I've always been in the relationship business. That's always been a very important thing. And in any job that I've had, and that's something that I think I'm very good at. And, this is a great town. We've got a lot of good people. I don't know if we could just get everybody down. We don't think we can do things. Thank you.
No, I'm going to start with you this next question. City officials do not seem to value our town icons such as the Santa Fe Depot,
spending a lot of money on that, and it's going to cost a whole lot more money to get that done. The first stage has started. It's going to be watertight when we get it done, and then we're going to have to move on to the next phase of it. It's going to have to be a phased approach because of what that cost is going to be. But that building is a jewel. I mean, it's so lucky to have it. I mean, we're not going to let anything happen to that building. That building will be restored. And I think everybody's going to be very proud of it when we get it done. The park that was mentioned,
And what about that? I'm going to answer that, and you don't have to reread it because it's a very long question. So I'm going to do my best to answer that with you at the telephone. Telephone is there, you know, I remember that's been there forever, and to see that it's been neglected for so long, that we need to do what we can to restore that. And if it takes, I know that some of the towns around here have donated some money into that, and so not sure where all the funding is coming to help restore, but there is a lot of preservation, cultural preservation monies out there, like I said earlier, you know. The key word is trying to find the funding to help with issues here in the city. And without that particular person being employed, whomever would get, that evergreen grant. That's where the money's going to be, to help restore the city. Same question to Rob Morris.
and for the three of them, the depot, back in 2020, I was bringing up the depot here at commission meetings, asking when we were going to get started on it. And I've been asking for years. I absolutely support the depot, and will continue. I think there was a lot of misconceptions in how we were going to fix that, where everybody thought it was going to be this giant brand new building, but because of historical value, we had to keep some of the old tiles no matter what. We couldn't replace them with new because it wouldn't be on the registry anymore. Now, with the beard cabin, my proposal was to put a canopy of sorts over the beard cabin to help protect it from the elements. Celebration of Life Park, I'll be real quick on that one. In 2018, we did pass the sales tax on that, and it said 6 parks. It said Woodland, Kid Space, Boy Scout, Slap Park, Dean White to us, Celebration and Optimist. Those last 3, Dean White, Optimist, and Celebration, got none of that $7 million. It all got spent on 3. I'd like to know why, and I'm sure those neighborhoods in downtown would like to know too. Thank you.
Same question to Eric Stevens.
Same thing, so I just had that way. I'm about 4,000 back in 2018. This is 2024, we're just now starting. Granted, we had COVID, we had inflation. Why don't we not get back then? Why don't we wait? We had inflation, but we had inflation back in 18. It took us this long to actually act. Why don't we get the inflation program? Pass whatever we're past the budget and get it right. Get it done. There's no right to put the can on the road for 6 hours. No cabin. Don't bring that thing up, take some of the bottle, take some of the equipment our friends have there. That building probably needs to be labeled, taken completely apart, and rebuilt by a competent professional. So to be helpful, you also can. Both of those buildings are very important to the city. They are the face of the city. They're the face of the patches. The city by depot. The park.
Next question, and we will start with Eric Stevens. What is the role of mayor and council manager form of government?
So we are what's known as the weak mayor system. So the mayor is basically one of the city council members, one voice out of 7. The mayor has one employee, which is the city manager. The city manager does have day-to-day direction and his overall operations. The city manager answers, incorporates into the
question to Rob Morris.
The mayor, this student's right, the mayor is basically like a figurehead of face. They do control the meeting, so the mayor has total control over the commission meeting. And the only place where he was wrong is the commission actually hires the city attorney too, which is conveniently something that I was going to bring up tonight, because their contract is the only one in the city that just gets auto-renewed every year. Nobody has to talk about it. That's a problem.
Managers will have done much worse to role as the mayor.
And as far as being the face, yes, you talk to the media, yes, you have to smile for the camera, that comes with the territory. However, there's nothing that says the mayor can't come up with his own idea to stand at that podium right there and present to the commission and actually work instead of just sitting up here and pushing a button to vote. Thank you.
Same question to Winifred Local. I'm going to echo what Alex said, because that's what we have was given the academy class Thursday night, where the city manager answers to the mayor. The city manager did go over the duties of her situation, and one of the things was that she is over the directors of each department, and one of the things is that was mentioned is that she didn't like getting into the directors' decision making. But I think at one point in time that the city manager will have to have some controversy and some of the issues, and the mayor should have some decision making and their decisions of what kind of arises in each department. But the mayor, he has this. Okay, same question to incumbent Ed Vogt.
Council manager, form of government here in Shawnee, and actually, there are 4 employees that report to the commission, and that is the city manager, the city attorney, the treasurer, and the municipal judge. So all of those people work at our pleasure. So we evaluate them on an annual basis, and if there are not folks who want, then we're going to find the folks that we need to be good with. At the meetings, the mayor presides over the meeting. We vote here, just like all the other commissioners, there are members of the commission. So in the minute that we have, that's where we record the answer that you're going to get. But it's actually 4 employees to the commission, and not just the mayor.
Thank you. Next question. We'll start with the one that will work. There is emphasis on Shawnee's downtown district, which is good. However, what are your plans for roadway, public safety, and other development and support on the north side, where the majority of the city's sales taxes are developed? So we want to bring businesses down to Shawnee downtown. I remember whenever I was a youngster and shopping on Main Street. So, bringing more people in, and most of us having businesses down and transportation. But that's one of the issues here in the city is transportation. And bringing the north side of town, and that's always going to be very saying, as the city's moving north, and that is what's happening, but we want to restore our downtown. And to make it safe down there, and feel that somewhat it is somewhat better than what it was before downtown. So, just making sure that we have some good businesses. Same question to Ed
that's what we've done, and it doesn't give you a lot of specifics, but it's all the things in that plan. Yes, ma'am.
There is an emphasis on Shawnee's downtown district, which is good. However, what are your plans for roadway, public safety, and other development and support on the north side, where the majority of the city's sales taxes are developed?
That is all. Roadway and public safety, I'm going to throw one more in there too. We have the dam on Lake One. It's going to have to be rebuilt, and that's not a small task by any means. And I think it's something that the seven of us up here are going to have to discuss, because I would turn this question to the voters too. What's more important, fixing a pothole on the road or fixing the dam? Because we can fix a ton of potholes that might barely touch that one dam that could wipe a whole, everything on the bottom end away from it. Prioritizing that, we have that half-cent sales tax we just did. Some of that money is probably going to have to be moved to more important things that are finally falling apart to the point that we can't put a Band-Aid on it. We have to tear it off, actually clean the wound, and start fresh. How about that?
Yes, what are your plans for roadway, public safety, and other development and support on the north side of the city, where the majority of the city's sales taxes is developed?
So there's a lot of development going on the north side. There's no doubt about that. Roadways, obviously, we need to have working traffic signals, working infrastructure out there. It seems like everybody's building on the north side. I wish we could do some more on the south side, but we're going to develop the whole town, not just concentrating one area or the other. It all ties together. And that's correct. The dam is the largest one by a huge undertaking. That's kind of the way out in the room. We don't know exactly how we're doing with that. We've had to put time down on it. I think the choice has been out. But that will be an address here. That one definitely needs addressed in the near future.
And next, this will be our last question for the evening, but you will have time to go over your emphasis and your objectives. Will the city attorney continue to be your personal attorney if you become mayor? If yes, why is this not a conflict of interest? And vote, we'll go first.
The attorney.
Well, that's the one thing of it. It's not it. Yeah. Well, you're all going to get to answer it. Okay, go ahead.
So what they're talking about is Joe voted Rexford Start Clover. That Clover has been my personal attorney for probably 13 to 15 years. 95% of it is real estate. That's what makes specialists. Mike is the mayor attorney who works with that way. If Mike can't help me on my real estate dealings, I'm assuming that Joe will be my attorney for that. That's what his specialty is. I didn't do it. I talked to Mike, Clover, Jim Stewart, and Joe before I ever filed for this, asking if this would be a conflict of interest in the future before I decide running for office. He said absolutely not. If we need to accuse ourselves when it comes time to vote for the contract for the city attorney, I have no problem doing that. If it makes everybody feel better, I'm fine with that. But I was told 100% that we do have conflict of interest.
Do any of you want to comment? Go ahead.
With all due respect, Mr. Stevens, I believe it is a conflict of interest, because when you go ask Joe a question, are you talking to your private attorney, or are you talking to the city attorney? Because they're the same people. Not to mention, I plan on bringing that contract up for a vote to see what's going on with it. I have a hard time believing that Mr. Stevens would call for that contract to be brought up so that we can see if we're getting our money's worth from the city attorney
it's time for voting. You see all these commissioners out putting signs up and talking to you, but what happens after they're elected? Do you see them anymore? I doubt it. I doubt that you do. I like to see the commissioners out in their wards to find out what concerns our citizens have, to bring their voice back in to the city and for us to take action on what your concerns. Our communities. Those are your communities. Those are our communities. I want to be in that leadership role. I've been in leadership role before. I've went up against big oppositions. And I can handle it. I will be your voice. I will be a strong voice for you. As well. Thank you. Good note.
Man, so, you know, for the last 6 years, I've served on the city commission, and it's been a very interesting thing, a very rewarding thing. It's something that has given me a lot of experience that nobody else did. And, you know, before my time in public service, you know, I think I gained a lot of very valuable experience working for an enormous company in the youth and small business owner who could travel. So I can gain a lot from both of those experiences. So if you're very glad with the experience that I've had sitting here on the commission, I think that's a very good combination. So I'm glad to manage to oversee construction and maintenance of critical infrastructure through a town with new life-saving plant that we spent $20 million on, so we can be prepared for the future. Wastewater treatment plant that we're spending $110 million on, so we're prepared for the future. But we've got to do all these things that make, you know, us ready for the future and to keep this town, you know, attractive for businesses and, you know, keep us growing. You know, there's a lot of things that are parking lot that, you know, really show that I don't quite understand, like, you know, I'm not talking about the mayor, but the mayor does not negotiate contracts with the unions, the private. So I support them thoroughly. That's part of our job, and the city manager does that. So one of the things that, you know, whoever the next mayor is, they're going to have to understand their job, and they're going to have to know, you know, what it is that they do. Because I know that there's a lot of mistakes coming in, so it's kind of right at it.
At this time, we are going to take a 5-minute break. My brain is going tonight. I don't know where it's going. Now we might just go for telling you your next.
There really has been a lot said tonight. It's sad that some people care a whole lot about Shawnee, yet they voted to de-annex the southern tip of it. Gave it away. Doesn't seem like you care that much. There's some intricacies in there. The depot we talked about. A lot of people care about that. I care about my old neighborhoods I lived in too, and the folks there. It's not just the depot. I care about the whole town, because I have lived here my whole life. I want transparency back, which transparency can be ugly at times, because it does show usually the worst side of people at the time of bad things. But when it's the money that comes out of your pocket that goes into those tax dollars, you ought to be able to know where it's going, where it's being spent. Now, me as the mayor, I'm a tiebreaker vote when it comes down to it. I have no business making a motion for anything. I have no business seconding a motion. I'm a tiebreaker vote. And that's what I should be, because I'm the one that looks out for what's for the greater good of Shawnee. The commissioners individually look out for their own wards, and secondary, what's the greater good. And then when it comes down to a 3-3 vote, I'm the deciding vote for what's best for Shawnee. Now, everyone talks about, and I'm be written that way by law. So is the open record law as well. It has to be written to where we understand it. So, when it comes down to it, 4 years from now, when everybody's doing this again, anyone in this room or anybody watching, if you want to run for mayor, go for it. It's meant for anyone to be able to do it. The 4 of us aren't special. We're just running for office. Thank you.
Thank you to all the candidates for being here and participating, and thank you for the audience for participating and submitting questions. Now, at this time, we are going to take a 5-minute break and get ready for our next candidates. Now we will continue. We've had probably 2 minute break, but once again, each candidate will be invited to make an opening remark, and this time, our members first this time, so we're going to start over here to my left, and let me get my pen and one of these here. Okay, we will go. You. I'm really down. Jeez, this is embarrassing not to be so organized. Alright. Well, I'm just looking it up. We just got 4 minutes for opening remarks, and then you have 5 seconds left when I have to develop. And then turns up. Yes, you need to do that. Thank you. That's my organizing. Yes, organizing the left and my last and my number. Alright, this is for City Commissioner Ward 2, and we will begin with Greta Mason. They're with us tomorrow. They're professional and they're organized. We want to have, and if you spell that, Heather, Greta Mason. Good evening, thank you all for tuning in tonight to listen to us talk about our ideas and plans and hopefully vote for one of us. Okay, my name is Greta Madsen, and I am a lifelong resident of Shawnee, Oklahoma. I was born here. My parents built a home here many, many years ago. I graduated from Shawnee High School in 2001. I graduated from OU in 2005. I have stayed in the area the whole time I was actually in the funeral business. I moved the funeral home to Detroit, or right now at our student funeral home, for many years. And at the end of my time there, I began dipping into entrepreneurship. So I started my first business in 2010, and I have progressively opened more small businesses throughout our town, and that really has kind of changed my perspective on a lot of life in general. So I have been self-employed for over 10 years now, and I just really wanted to give something back to Shawnee, and I think that Shawnee has a lot of potential. So this rise for PwC was an opportunity for me to try to help Shawnee move forward with that potential. Thank you. Next, we will hear from Diana Brown. Good evening. Again, I'm Diana Brown. I've lived in the Shawnee area for 7 years, but my family has lived in and around Shawnee my entire life. I'm a freshman teacher at Whitmer, and when I'm not creating lessons, writing papers, or creating trades experiments that worked for my kids' lower plane, I enjoy traveling with my husband Dallas, playing golf with my son Austin, and reading my best suspense novel. I live in Shawnee Twin Lakes, and that area is a unique part of Shawnee. Our community can often be found looking out for a neighbor, rescuing strangers on the water, and returning items that wash up on our docks. I chose to work for the Ward Commission to make a difference. I might not have the answers to the questions that you were asking today, but if I am aware that I will make sure that I do my best to research the questions and do everything that I can to find answers to problems and concerns. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we will also hear from Sydney. Good evening. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Chris, for putting this on. And thank you guys for coming out. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Woodward, Oklahoma, and I always knew that I wanted to go to OBU. So after I graduated high school, I moved to Shawnee, and I eventually made a poor decision and tried better serve the citizens of Oklahoma. As they've made and read this and anything on from OU School of Law. And learning is not by the way. So just wanted to throw that out there. In 2022, in order to represent myself more fully in the surgeon community, I took a position locally. That is what I love being a more invested member of the community. I currently serve on the board of the Shawnee Urban Renewal Authority, as well as Shawnee Middle School's Health and Safety Committee. Thank you. And now we will hear from Cindy. I'm Cindy Brother. I moved to Shawnee in 2019 when I bought my first house out here. I actually grew up between my parents living, my mom lived in Kansas, my dad lived in Oklahoma City. And so we moved around in Kansas into little small towns a lot, and eventually, just before high school, I decided I was tired of moving, and I moved in with my dad and graduated from Capitol Hill High School in Oklahoma City. A little bit after that, I was manager at Sonic. And I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm a little bit nervous. I did not write anything down because I wanted you guys to get to know me as I am. So after I graduated high school, I started managing Sonic and then experience there, and then I had a child. As a mom living in Oklahoma City, I knew right then and there that I did not want to have my child raised in the city with all of the danger around, and going to Oklahoma City public schools. I didn't want to have to go there either. So I packed up. I got my degree. In 2018, I got a degree in political science. I've worked since as a social work field, from case management in prison to social work out in the field, working with and doing investigations. So I've got a lot of experience working with various vulnerable types of populations, from prison to the poorest of the poor. So that experience led me to come out here to Shawnee. I knew nothing about Shawnee. It was the only place I could afford that was out of the city, that wasn't in the country. And I thought when I got here, this is amazing. It's like a country city. So you've got this main street, and it feels like you're in a small town, you can walk around, go shopping, and then you can drive and hit the interstate and go wherever you need to go. So I felt like it was perfect. And then what brought me here is going to the school. My daughter had an issue at school, and I started going to the school board meetings. And there I felt like I wasn't getting any answers. And then it felt like, well, everybody seems to be connected, and I can't complain to anywhere else as it's going back with her. So then I started going to the commission meetings. And that's when I started to notice it feels like the people are not being heard. So my vision is to bring back the voice of the people. I'm here to represent my ward and what the people want, even if it's different than what the city plans are. And one thing that's important about that is being able to communicate with the public and being able to explain those issues that come up with the city when people don't feel like they know what's going on. So just talking about it and bringing the community voice back. Now we will hear from City Commissioner Ward 3, and Yana will be first. Thank you for making time to come see us, and thank you, Kate, for hosting this for us tonight. I'm Yana Fraser, Ward 3 County Commissioner. I've been in there since October when I was appointed. I've worked with Shawnee schools since, I think I was like 19, 20, and I'm almost 50 now. I started out substitute teaching, and eventually moved to Indian education, and I raised my kids here as an Indian educator. That's when I started my volunteer service with the church, everything from education committee to housing commissioner. My girls are starting to grow up. I've got 2 at college. My oldest is finishing up her degree for nursing. My second is in dietetics, and my youngest is a senior at Shawnee High School right now. I love this town. I've been here my whole life. My mom went to school here. My grandma went to school here. My great-grandma would have went to school here if she wasn't sent out to Memphis right back. Because we work from Edmond every day, and we drive back and forth. I want to work with people here. I encourage everyone to contact me at the end of these commission meetings. I encourage you to email me, call me, anything. This is not government. I'm a voice for you. And I want everyone to be heard. And that's one of the things that everyone has a voice, and everyone should be heard, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to work for you. Thank you. Next, we will hear from Teresa Cody.
Good evening. I want to thank PAVE again for this event. My name is Chris O'Neill. I am from Shawnee, born down the road, Mission Hill. Now I live on there. My great-grandparents ran a dairy farm in Bethel. My great-grandmother passed away last year, 2 days away from being 102. So my family has deep roots here. I've been a downtown business owner since 2007. During this time running my business, I served on the Permanent Library Board, and I served on the Downtown Main Street program. I love downtown and Main Street so much, I've lived in and out of downtown since 2017, and 2020, we're roughing about our forever home on build. We are raising our 2 children at this house. They're here today. I'm very proud of them. Early this year, I decided that I wanted to serve my city, and that's why I'm here today. Over the last 17 years, downtown has changed a lot. From our streetscape program to our facade grants that have improved the look and feel of downtown. And this evening, we've heard a lot of the money's north and the downtown is here, and how do we equate all that? Every town's heart is its downtown. Sales tax can come from everywhere. I know that my business group pays a lot in the sales tax, but the heart is here. And I think that's why we're all here. That's why our city hall is downtown, our library is downtown, our big park, our municipal park is downtown. And so I'm ready to work. I am ready to commit to this job, and I'm ready to work very hard. And I want to say that I love that I get to live where I work, and I am proud to be a Shawnee boy, and I'm proud to be a Shawnee citizen. Thank you.
Okay. You just heard from Chris O'Neill. Now you will be hearing from Teresa Cody. Good afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this afternoon. I grew up in East of Shawnee on a farm, and my parents took part of my life owned this little small grocery store out east of town, so I've grown up in business. And after I finished high school, I went to business school, got a degree in fashion merchandising, went to East Central University, and then I moved to Denver, Colorado to go to work at the corporate office for Mobile Oil Corporation. Worked there in their accounting department for roughly, I have about 10 years with Mobile. I worked part of the time in drilling materials, but most of my time was spent there in accounting. We moved back here, my husband took a transfer. I transferred for a short period of time. I had a Mobile Chemical, and then we lived in Edmond. He was working there for about 6 years, moved back here. Then I have a business on Main Street. I live on Main Street. I've been there 32 years and lived there about 29. I served on the downtown board for about 7 years. I understood what was being done and the prices. But the sad thing is, we spent all that money on downtown, and we have so many curbs that are clocking now, and if we don't get a handle on that soon, we're going to lose these new streets and sidewalks that we already have. And about 4 years ago, I did serve on the Zoning Board of Adjustments. Let me back up here. I served on the Zoning Board of Adjustments, and I'm not even getting up right after. 4 years ago, I looked out the window and I realized that we looked like a third world country. There was people with pipe smoking pipes and stuffing bicycles down. So I went to work to form a neighborhood watch for downtown, and okay, first question to this candidate. We'll start with Cindy Barber. What is your experience, if any, with government finance and budgeting? Well, that's a good question. I don't have any experience budgeting or finance in government. My experience comes with investigating things involving finances, exploitation, things like that. I am here to be the voice for the people, so learning the budget is part of what I have to do, and I'm willing to do that. I research everything, and I research when somebody asks me a question, so I have no problem learning something new and saying when I don't know something, and I will make an effort to learn so I do understand that better. Same question to Dana Browning. I'm hoping to get the opportunity to have this experience. I don't have any actual experience in finance and budgeting, but I did serve on a double school board when they constructed a new school. And so I oversaw all of those things and the census items and where the extra money had to come from. So just a little bit from the school board is about what I can confirm. Thank you. Same question, Sydney Davidson. I worked for the state with the corporation commissions for 20 years, and I was the manager of the department, and we did workshops for little hours, and we tried to work with budget and that in those time frames. That's very minimal with government finance and budgeting. Before that, in my previous places in life, I did work with the figures for the rest of the with businesses around town that needed loans for their businesses. Basically, I had no problem with being able to sell that resources to us. We went forward and back to back and straight to back to back. Absolutely. Dr. Madison, same question. So I am self-employed and so I work my shifts like that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As far as my experience with government specific, I managed a cemetery in sort of a combination with the cemetery was a multi-million-dollar revenue source, and also the expenditures that we're looking at are very in line with what, obviously small scale, but they're very in line with what the city has to manage and operate with, as far as road, construction, things like that, maintenance, over maintenance, capex expenditures, all of that will be as far as revenue and donations to financing products. So, that's an experience. Thank you. I want to make this clear so we don't get confused with combined these two wards. You have just heard from people running for City Commissioner Ward 2 on this side. What is your experience, if any, with government finance and budgeting? And I'm going to call on Teresa Cody. My experience is coming to the City Commission meetings on
services tried. I've also served, I think it's been like 18 years on the Tribal Housing Commission, where I was treasurer as well as chair. And we did the budget, we approved the budget, and I know my way all the way around the website.
Thank you. You've just heard from the candidates running for Ward 3 Commission. Our next question, what is your experience with municipal land use planning? How will you make final zoning decisions based on recommendations from the Planning Commission? And first, you will be first to answer.
Very good question. I do not have experience with municipal use planning. I do know that we have a planning commission and that they make recommendations and turn over plans to city commissioners. I would review that and do research and read everything that's given to me to make sure that I can make a decision based on the information that I would obtain. So,
I will call on Teresa Cody. Same question. Repeat the answer, please. What is your experience with municipal land use planning? How will you make final zoning decisions based on recommendations from the Planning Commission?
I will educate myself with what the Planning Commission brings before the City Commission and determine what I need to vote on. I will also keep my ears open to my constituents to understand what their point of view is on zoning too, and try to have a good conversation between the two so that I'm voting correctly.
Thank you. Donna, same question. That's such a good question.
I haven't got that much experience, but I have gotten a little bit of experience sitting up here. And of course, we do take into account what the Planning Commission wants and plans, but it's so important to listen to your constituents too. Sometimes sitting up here during these meetings, you will hear things from the people that come up and talk that aren't in our planning groups. They're not in our meeting groups, and we wouldn't know that if we didn't hear from the people that come up to talk to us in those meetings. So it's important to take that into account as well. Obviously, what they can see.
Thank you. These are the people running for Ward 3 you just heard from. Next, Ward 2 candidates. Do I need to repeat this question? It's a little long. Oh, God, goodness. Cindy, we'll begin with you.
I don't have experience in municipal land use planning. I have been coming to the commission meetings where they have talked about things like changing the zoning for certain projects. And I think it's important to listen to what the Planning Commission is recommending and looking at it and making sure I would fully understand. But I think it's equally important to listen to what the people want. And sometimes that includes having a conversation to explain why the city is trying to do something, because sometimes a simple clarification can help solve up any of the doubts. And if you're explaining it and talking to the people, they're going to be able to, let you know what they want too, and taking all of it into consideration together.
Sitting right beside you, Dana, same question.
I don't have any experience with the municipal land use planning. I would also be looking at what the Planning Commission is recommending. It's very important to know who that's going to directly impact and what the facts are. Because I left the link, and I know sometimes you get some information that some things are going to come that directly impact you. But you kind of give it too late, or you get half of the facts and right other stuff. So I think just having conversations, we have to be able to relate to who that's going to impact and what the facts are, and what to know the kind of solution where we can somehow meet in the middle to make sure everybody's getting what they need.
Thank you. Cindy Davidson, same question.
I think just like
is getting people to talk and to have conversations. We have went so long without having conversations with City Hall. It has been quite a struggle with dealing with some of the issues we have on Main Street. 4 years ago, I stepped through my front window, looked out, and it looked like a third world country. We had people smoking crack pipes and stripping backs. And I was deciding this is where it's going to end with me. And this was going on up and down Main Street. So we started Neighborhood Watch. And I have continued each month to have meetings. And we've discussed some of the problems and some of the solutions that we could take in regards to this. We have made huge headway. And we've worked with the police. And the city manager has been to all of our meetings. I'm the one that called the meetings, and our people down there are very glad to be there. Thank you. Chris O'Neill, same question. What are your main priorities?
My main priorities, I believe that we need to discuss the city's unhoused individuals. I think we need to come up with a real solution that is compassionate. We take care of businesses and we take care of the people that have the least among us. Secondly, sidewalks and streets. Since the branch has been out on Main Street, there is no east-west sidewalk from the river to Independence. So just think about that. So we cannot get from Kickapoo to Harrison on a sidewalk to get to Independence. And I think that we need to make a discussion about young kids walking to school, they have to walk on the street, elderly, definitely able people, and wheelchairs can't get from the east to west side of town, and I think that we need to have a real conversation about that. Thanks.
Thank you. Yana, same question. What are your main priorities? Our main priorities? Downtown. Downtown is one of the ones. That is the right, like we said, downtown. Number two, I would like to see our officers and our fire department appreciated. I know we don't negotiate these contracts by a right. We should always get a raise. We should always get a raise. I know that they're getting increasing their insurance benefits and such.
Extra.
And also new business. We need new business. Large new business. We need to grow. Thank you. You just heard from candidates running for Ward 3. Look at them close. Okay. Brad Matson, same question. My biggest priority is to be the right with our water source facility, protecting that, preserving that, making sure that there's some kind of a plan as far as the repair of the dam. That's a huge priority. Another priority is that I really want to do what's best for Shawnee as a whole, not individual groups, not an individual person, Shawnee as a whole. I think that we need to have some transparency as far as financials, and I think that we really need to come together as a community and know where we are. And that's what I'm going to do. Thank you. Sidney Davidson, same question. So beyond the obvious issues that we have with infrastructure and homeless problem, I'd like to see a change in our city's reputation. And I think that having a reputation of not being a great place to live would affect our economy, and it would keep investors from coming into our city. It would keep tourists from coming and spending their money here.
So I think
to discuss why they do the things they do and to defend themselves when they aren't right. I mean, just like any other job, you're going to have good people and you're going to have bad people. That doesn't change with the type of job that you have. So I think the Citizen Review Board for the police department would be helpful to not only the public to be able to express concerns, but to the police themselves to be able to say, hey, this is why something was done, because that communication can help clear up some of those differences and ideas. This will go 1 to 2 for Civic Commission. Ward 3, we will start with Chris O'Neill. Do you support a Citizen Police Review Board?
I also agree that I would need a little bit more information as to how that would be structured, what will be the objectives of such a board. So I couldn't really say if I'm for or against such a board. I do know that communication and being open with the citizens and the police will just foster a great relationship. But to give a thumbs up or thumbs down without, just kind of how that would work and how it would be structured, that would grab more information for that.
Thank you. Regarding same question. It sounds like a great idea as long as it is constructive, and it's also important that the people that sit on that board are objective and know the ins and outs of what they are fighting for. So I just think it sounds good for the one thing of boards that is important about that are out there who have experience with that. Thank you. Teresa Cody. I'm not sure that I would support a Citizens Review Board. I have to have more details as to what they hope to accomplish from it, but just from where I would see it, I don't see what benefit it would have. We just have some candidates for Ward 3. Our next question, how do you plan to review tax increases? Are you in favor of adding sunset clauses? And Chris O'Neill, we will start with you.
I like this question. I'm in favor of sunset reviews. We vote to increase our sales tax, and a few years later we vote and increase it again, and they did it. So, the MAP programs that were successful in Oklahoma City sunset, and then they vote on it again. Typically they have succeeded. And I think that it allows us to take a look about what we want our tax dollars to go and how we want them to be spent. And I think that's good direction. So I would support that.
Thank you. Same question, Teresa. Well, I think that I'm not a big tax person, but I know the city has to rely on the sales tax as the only form of revenue. And I would be in favor of reviewing it every year and making sure that we are spending our dollars properly, which we haven't shown that we've really been good at that the last few years. So I think we need to review how the money's going. We need to spend the money on the basic things that we have voted that sales tax for. And if we have more money coming in than we need, then we need to see about repealing some of the sales tax. Yeah, same question. And the sunset clause is the part where they automatically expire at a certain time. Isn't that what that is? Yes, they do. I would say that would make it Sidney Davidson, same question. I was told that steps continuously review anything that we can to make sure that what we have started is still exceeding what it was intended to do. So yes, I think that the sunset clause would be a very good idea. Dana Brown, same question. I also would be in favor of the sunset clause review. I also think that when you're looking at the state zones where they're going to be split, when you make a decision that it needs to go into effect a little more quickly, I think that you have deciding on these taxes and where they're going, and then it's a long time before you see them affect the project that they're intended for. Cindy Berger, same question. So in reviewing those, I would say you have to also look at how we had an increase in spending in places. Is there a decrease somewhere else? A sunset clause is good because it gives the people an idea of how long is this going to go on for. And it's probably more willing to get people to on board with it when they can see an end date and there is something in the works that it's going directly towards. So absolutely, I would support that. Thank you. Ward 2, candidates. And I did that with the big question because I wanted to know the difference in who the people are. Next question. What is the plan to finance and repair our streets? And let's start with Greta. So they're actually sitting built into our budget currently. They're sitting a fund that has a vast amount of money that we pass much for to repair and maintain our streets. So we just need to evaluate that, see if that is sufficient, and make sure that our roads are being maintained. And then preventative maintenance, I would say, is probably key as well. So anything that we can do to prevent future issues within the roads is also good. So spending smaller amounts of money up front as opposed to larger amounts of money up front is also wise. Okay. Thank you. Sidney Davidson. I agree with what Greta said. Definitely maintaining what we have so that we don't have to lack maintenance issue after a while is going to be key. And also, I believe it's already put into the budget, so we just need to make sure that we're spending it wisely and that we are addressing issues. And again, it's going to sound kind of like the same skill, but I think we're kind of the same issue about this. And then recently, in my quick time, was having to clarify right about this year. So to me, I felt like a lot of money was went into that, and it just was like a nightmare because it's falling apart and then that, and we had to spend a lot more money to fix it correctly. So I just want to make sure that when you're looking at the budget and when you're showing that we're not trying to do what the patch says and that we're trying to do something that will be a long-term lasting effect. Thank you. Cindy Barber, same question. What is your plan to finance and repair our streets? So I don't think that it's going to be easy without having the infrastructure fixed first. I live in the area of Broadway and Independence. There's constantly water pipes being worked on. I get scared when I'm on my street and I see that crack in the road and there's water just seeping from it. I'm like, did it just rain or is there another problem? Because if we don't fix the infrastructure, we just keep tearing the roads up to repair it again. And that's going to cost a lot more money just to keep repairing it after trying to put small fixes on things like the water infrastructure. You've just talked from candidates running for Ward 2. Teresa Cody, what is your plan to finance and repair our streets? Well, the financing's already there because they budget that every year. I kind of have to go along with what Cindy said. If we don't start doing something about some of these water pipes busting, we're going to be up uphill battle all the time. I would really like to see a plan of what the city's planning to do about replacing some of the pipes that need to be replaced, some of the old pipes. Ward 3 is full of some of the oldest pipes in this town. I want to see a plan. I want to see how that's going to work, and then we need to see a plan on how the streets are going to be maintained on a regular basis so that we do eliminate some of that. I have not seen a plan in years. At one time, we had planned on doing so many streets, resurfacing them every year. They would have a number of them, and they had a plan. I have not seen a plan. So I will ask for a plan. Yeah, same question. What is your plan to finance and repair our streets? Well, that should be in the budget. And I would encourage new roads rather than patching. So much patching when you wonder if that would have equaled the cost of a new road after fixing just some fixing. And if it's right in front of me, I'm going to vote for it. It comes down to new roads. Instructions and ceasefire. Okay, but we still have a candidate that needs to answer this question, Chris O'Neill.
So there is existing funding and financing, like we all know. Also, we could get co-funds from state and county monies that could also help facilitate paying for some of our roads. I think we need to look at the predictive and preventative maintenance. So we can even see what our streets benefit. We talked about sidewalks, curbs, water mains. Performing a predictive and preventative maintenance will allow us to prioritize which streets need to be repaired, which streets need to be replaced, and we can go city-wide to the entire city and make a plan and use science and reality and travel, and how many people travel over it, and then we can start repairing our roads and our streets in a logical and an orderly fashion so that we don't skew the flow of traffic either. So it's a huge endeavor, but it's definitely not good.
That was a difficult question. And it's going to take a lot of thought. It won't happen overnight. Our next question, and by the way, you just heard from candidates running from Ward 2. 3. Alright, our next question. What are the 3 scenarios mentioned in the Twin Lakes Master Plan for future growth around Shawnee Lake, and which one would you recommend? We will go start with Teresa Covey. I probably would have some more discussion on that Lake Master Plan, even though it's been voted on, so I will just leave that right there. Thank you. So, let's go. Alright, Yana, same question. Do I need to repeat it? I think so. Okay. What are the 3 scenarios mentioned in the Twin Lakes Master Plan for future growth around Shawnee Lake, and which one would you recommend? Master plan looks. It was a 20-year. I love the parks. I like the parks. I like the sidewalks. I like the sidewalks. You know what I like? Sidewalks well. How about like that? Everything to bring growth and people to a lake and to our town is good. That's what I really wanted to do that, I think. Okay, same question. Question is.
I'm not familiar with that 3 scenarios yet, so I'm not so glad about that.
Thank you.
Well, so.
That's your answer?
Yes.
Alright, thank you. This was Ward 3, we're going to Ward 2 now. Cindy, what are the 3 scenarios mentioned in the Twin Lakes Master Plan for future growth around Shawnee one question to Sidney Davidson. After Green Room, I think that this scenario metric went to, which I believe was the lake that does not have that individual property around it. And you get more of a recreation area. I would love to see what the lake has my tax situation with the lot control around it. So like I said, it's a fun scenario. And that's the way everybody would keep it out right now. And I think it's important for us to remember that the
sure.
and not with our utility bills.
Thank you. Teresa Covey. I would ask the city staff to search for additional sources for revenue and would not raise the utility bill. Thank you. We're at the time of the evening you will hear from these candidates one more time. You have 2 minutes for questions. I'll do 37 questions to be all right. Okay. We'll start with Brenda. So, my name is Brenda Matson, and I work with you guys 2 weeks again for a time that I'm asking for one evening. But I just want to reiterate the fact that I really do have what's best for Shawnee effort. I was born and raised, I'm heavily invested here with not only time, but my husband has a great job at one of the large manufacturing employers in town, and so we're very invested in this community. I have served this community through various different charitable Junior Service League. I'm a sustaining member of that. So we do a lot of good around town, if you're familiar with it. But Shawnee has a lot of great things to offer, and I think that we just really need a group of commissioners that can kind of springboard us into that next, brightness. So I'm proud of where we are and where we can go, and I think that I can really help get us to the next phase of brightness. So just a couple more things about me. I know more about Main Street as well, so Ward 3 is definitely a passion I have of building on Main Street that I've rehabilitated from condemned status. So I've worked with the planning office, the code enforcement, I've pretty much done it all when it comes to all of that. And my husband and I are residents at Shawnee Twin Lakes, and so we're just kind of all over the deal. But I appreciate that. Just talk to me. Please vote. I love her attitude. Yeah, just talk from Brenda Matson, Ward 2 candidate for City Commissioner. Next, we will hear from Dana Brown. Hello, Shawnee. I live in a lot of places, and I choose Shawnee. I do the majority of my shopping, my eating, and my playing in Shawnee. I am running for the Ward 2 position to make a difference, and I know that you can believe in me to be the voice of our beautiful city, and represent not only the Lake area, but all of the Ward 2 section. Thank you. Get this time once again from Dana Brown. Next, you will hear from Sydney Davidson. Okay, first I'm going to just say I don't hate this. That phrase that was there a little while ago. What I do not like is not being able to sit there and research the questions that I'm being asked and give an educated answer. So I apologize for that. What I'd like to say in closing is that Shawnee is an incredible community of which I'm proud to be a part. Like any community, we definitely have our sorts of issues, and it's no secret that many are straight. In order to get things done, we need to get creative. How can we address areas of concerns with our limited resources? Let's look at other communities that are doing things well and use their best ideas with our own. I'm not a politician. I'm just a regular citizen that works for that community and one who could probably use a public speaking phrase. So there we go. I believe that working together with those around us, no matter their political leanings, is how we're going to get things done. I don't have a ready-made solution to pull out of my purse, but I am willing to sit down with all stakeholders and work on solutions that work for as many as possible. And
also want to say to everybody here that wrote a question down, it's pretty impressive. It's very obvious that our citizens are informed, and they have very real questions. And I think that we did our very best to answer them, to be truthful and thoughtful in our responses. I also want to thank PAVE for putting this together, and everybody that's here. It's a late night, and everybody at home that's watching. We're going to vote. June 18th. We're going to figure this out in just a few weeks. Voting is so important. Also, as we talked about our city, most of our money sales tax. Buy here, serve here. I mean, this great experiment that we're doing right now, it all comes from us. And I love this town, and I do as much as I can to shop here, buy here. I love our Main Street. I try to spend as much money down there. Also, if I win, I will promise that I'm going to work and collaborate with all the commissioners, no matter who is elected as mayor and to employer. And I think that from today we can realize that we just need to lift up all of our feelings about the city and realize that there's a group of people up here that are willing to work very hard. Very hard. And that's pretty special. And I think that we need to give everybody kind of some credit for that. That being said, vote for Udo. June 18th. Thank you very much.
And that's candidate Teresa Howard. I just want to say that I want to back up and talk about some of the things that I didn't get to say, but I'm sure I will have time to say it all. So please contact me if you want to have a one-on-one. 32 years I've been downtown. I've been working for not only myself to make a living and my family, but for this town. To raise the money, to raise the tax that I have to pay in every month to help with your roads and your infrastructure and all the needs that you have. So I've been working all this time. I put together, like I said, neighborhood watch, and I hope to expand those throughout the community. Just because we have accomplished some things downtown doesn't mean that some of it hasn't creeped over into some of the other neighborhoods. I want to say people fighting for their neighborhoods. It's not just about me, it's about you, and it's about what you get at. Every day I look out your door and say, you need to pay attention to what's going on. You need to change it. You need to have conversations about change. When you do that, you change the conversation about the city. You change the way people perceive us, and we change the growth and the outcome. On Main Street alone, there are 50 buildings that are occupied right now. There are 34 empty, 2 buildings for sale, 3 under construction, and 10 vacant lots. And that's on our Main Street. I know that's what's going on, and I know what's going to turn around. But we have to have everybody in those buildings participating with that change to get it to happen and to get change in our town. And once that happens, we'll see change across our city. That is economic development. We'd like to say thank you for your participation tonight. During the night to come out, support these candidates. We have a saying in our group, and it's so important. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Please go out and vote June the 18th. Thank you. One last thing, we have another forum tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. District 7.